Assalamu alaikum students. Today our topic is translation. First we see its definition, then we would explain it with the help of theory and diagrams. Its definition is the transfer of information from RNA to proteins is called translation. RNA may be transfer RNA, a messenger RNA or a ribosomal RNA. So from these RNAs, the transfer of information to synthesize proteins is known as translation. In simple words, we can also say that it is a process of protein synthesis. Next, we will study about the stages of translation process. Translation process can be divided into three stages. First stage is initiation, in which the process of protein synthesis starts. The second stage is elongation, during which polypeptide chain is synthesized. Third stage is termination, when protein synthesis process comes to an end. Finally, the export of protein is done. So this protein is exported to the part of same cell in which this protein is synthesized, or can be exported to the out of cell for the use of neighboring cells. Firstly, we are going to study about initiation. During initiation, small ribosomal subunit is isolated from large ribosomal subunit. As we know that ribosome is formed by the attachment of small ribosomal subunit and large ribosomal subunit, but during initiation of translation, flowing processes occur. Firstly, isolation of small ribosomal subunit occur. The small ribosomal subunit, which is 30S, gets separated from large ribosomal subunit, that is 50S. S is a Svedberg unit which is used to describe the ribosomal parts. Then binding of messenger RNA to small ribosomal subunit occur. In prokaryotes, translation begins when initial portion of a messenger RNA molecule binds to a ribosomal subunit, i.e. small ribosomal subunit, which is 30S. In the presence of a protein, initiation factor IF1, then activating enzymes read the genetic codes. These genetic codes are present on messenger RNA molecule. So one activating enzyme attaches to to an amino acid which has a carboxylic group, i.e. COOH group, and a transfer RNA molecule that has a hydroxyl group. So when a reaction between carboxylic group and hydroxyl group occur, then we see that what happens. By the reaction of hydroxyl group of transfer RNA and carboxylic group of amino acid, a water molecule is released in the next step and amino acid becomes attached to the transfer RNA molecule. Here amino acid is tryptophan. So amino acid tryptophan, due to this chemical reaction, is attached to the transfer RNA molecule. This transfer RNA, which is carrying a amino acid, then binds to the messenger RNA codon, which is UAA. Whereas transfer RNA molecule also has its anticodon, that is pairing to this genetic code of messenger RNA. Messenger RNA code is UAA, whereas transfer RNA anticodon is AW, that is complementary to this messenger RNA codon. So due to these three steps of activating enzyme, we can see that how activating enzyme read a genetic code and amino acid is binding to its transfer RNA. Then we discuss about activation of amino acids. Amino acids are present in inactive form. They are activated when they react with ATP in the presence of an activating enzyme, amino acid synthetase. So by the reaction of amino acid plus ATP plus enzyme amino acid synthetase, they will form double A yani amino acid. AMP enzyme, that is amino acid adenylate enzyme complex, plus double P, that is pyrophosphate. When an amino acid becomes activated, then it is attached to its specific transfer RNA molecule. Same activating enzyme that is formed at upper catalyzes the attachment of amino acid to the specific transfer RNA. As a result, we get amino acid transfer RNA along with AMP and enzyme. By the diagram, we can also understand it thoroughly. With the help of this diagram, we can betterly understand that when an amino acid molecule reacts with transfer RNA molecule in the presence of an enzyme amino acyl adenylate enzyme complex, then an amino acyl transfer RNA is formed in which amino acid will be attached to this transfer RNA. Then we study about the formation of initiation complex. In prokaryotes, polypeptide synthesis begins with the formation of this initiation complex. So during the formation of initiation complex, the attachment of methionine to transfer RNA occurs, which then binds to ribosome, i.e. small ribosomal subunit. Firstly, a transfer RNA molecule, which is carrying a chemically modified methionine, also called N-formyl methionine, binds to a small ribosomal subunit like this manner. Proteins called initiation factors IF1 and IF2 also binds to the transfer RNA molecule and the small ribosomal subunit like this manner, as you can see on the diagram. So these initiation factors, that are IF1 and IF2, bind the transfer RNA molecule on the ribosomal surface at the P site, which is known as peptidal site. At this peptidal site, peptide bonds will form. Nearly to more sites will form. A site for amino acid site, where successive amino acids bearing transfer RNA will bind, and the next site will be E site, that is exit site, where empty transfer RNAs will exit the ribosome. Then this initiation complex, that is guided by another initiation factor, binds to AUG codon on the messenger RNA like this method. When messenger RNA codon has a code of AUG, then transfer RNA anticodon has its complementary anticodon, that is UAC. When initiation complex has formed truly, then large ribosomal subunit binds to the small ribosomal subunit. It exposes the messenger RNA codon adjacent to the initiating AUG codon, thus preparing it for the interaction with the another amino acid at the A site. As we can see that the large ribosomal subunit has three sites that we had already described as P site, that is peptidal site, A site, that is amino acid site, and E site is exit site. So the whole complex is prepared for the interaction with another amino acids that bearing transfer RNA molecule. Initiation factors that are attached to this complex are released and reutilized. Till here, small and large ribosomal subunits becomes attached to each other. Messenger RNA molecule has bind to small ribosomal subunit. Amino acids have also activated and are attached to transfer RNA molecule. Now a question arises. What? How does a cell perform its elongation process? Here we will understand the answer of this question. Let's see the performance of elongation stage. During elongation process, a second amino acid transfer RNA molecule comes and bind to the A site. When a second transfer RNA molecule with its appropriate anticodon appears, proteins called elongation factor that are EF4, EFT4 plus GTP help in binding it to the exposed messenger RNA codon at the A site. When both transfer RNA molecules bearing amino acids lie side by side, now a question comes in our mind that what will do the both transfer RNA molecules that contains amino acids? The answer is that now they will form a peptide bond. How? Let's see. Both these amino acids undergo a chemical reaction catalyzed by the large ribosomal subunit, which releases the initial methionine from its transfer RNA molecule. Like this, as its bond has been broken and attaches it to the second amino acid with the formation of a peptide bond in the presence of an enzyme peptidal synthetase. Like this. So methionine amino acid is released from its transfer RNA and then again attached to the next amino acid with the formation of a peptide bond. This peptide bond is formed in the presence of an enzyme peptidal synthetase enzyme. As I described earlier, then translocation of both transfer RNA molecule occurs. Then translocation process occurs in such a way that the ribosome now moves three more nucleotides along the messenger RNA molecule in the 5 to 3rd direction, that is guided by another elongation factor, that is EFG, which stands for elongation factor guided. This movement translocates the initial transfer RNA to the E site and ejects it from the ribosome. So this empty transfer RNA removes out from the large ribosomal subunit because it gave its amino acid to the second transfer RNA molecule. As a result, repositions the growing polypeptide chain in such a way that at this point the transfer RNA which is present at the P site containing two amino acids and exposes the next codon on the messenger RNA at the A site. It leads to the growing of polypeptide chain. When a third transfer RNA molecule, which contains its corresponding amino acid, recognizing that codon appears, it binds to the codon at the A site. Like this, third transfer RNA molecule is attached to its A site, as we can see from the diagram. This third transfer RNA placing its amino acid adjacent to the growing chain, because second transfer RNA will break its bond from its transfer RNA. Like this, both these amino acids will make a new peptide bond with the third amino acid. Like this. So the chain then transfers to the new amino acid and the entire process is repeated again and again. When the cell's required polypeptide chain has been synthesized, then termination of polypeptide chain synthesis takes place in such a way that elongation continues in such a fashion until a chain terminating nonsense codon. In other words, we can say its stop codon is exposed. For example, UAA, UGA, and UAG. These three codons are stop codons and nonsense codons. Nonsense codons do not bind to transfer RNA, but they are recognized by release factors. So a release factor come and attach to the exposed A site, like this method. Among these release factor 1 is used for UAA and UAG nonsense codons, whereas second release factor R2 is used for UAA and UGA nonsense codons. These release factors are the proteins that releases the newly synthesized polypeptide chain from the ribosome. In this diagram, we can say that the polypeptide chain has been released from its ribosome and the transfer RNA, that is last transfer RNA, becomes empty due to the attachment of release factor. When the complete polypeptide chain has been synthesized and is released from its ribosome, then it gives a motivation to the complex parts to gratis in such a way that, so as a result of this gratis, small ribosomal subunit, large ribosomal subunit, transfer RNA molecule and release factor get abstract. This polypeptide chain now is in its initial form. Later, it is organized in Golgi apparatus, like this, where it is highly organized and harmonized for use of cell parts. In Golgi apparatus, the tablet protein is packed into secretory vesicles and consigned to cell parts. This protein may be used inner cell parts or excluded from that cell for the use of other cells. Students, it is our topic today, translation. If you are liking it, then subscribe my channel Muntazir Mehdi Science TV. Press the like button and share it with your friends to add in their science education. May Allah bless you its reward. Keep your focus to your education. It doesn't only benefit you, but your society, your family, and also your country. Thank you for watching this your video.